That's right, guys. Live from the Screwball Whiskey Studios. How's it going? I have my glasses. I don't care. Yeah, cool. Yeah, you know what? I wasn't planning on doing this, but I think I am going to record some audio here. So, how's it going out there, guys? Yeah, I put May Rant in the thing just because I might. I don't know. I feel one coming on soon. What? Things are moving by themselves. It's not out of the ordinary. But it's not normal either. What's up, guys? How's it going? B and Ghost. You want an original Ghost? Let's do an original one then. Let me pull this in here. PlayStation remote just turned off. Let's do an original song there. You guys want to hear... Okay. Okay, yeah, why not? Oh, Buzz, tell Ginger I said hello indeed. Buzz has a very good friend who is a fantastic guitar player, and a gentleman by the name of Robbie Basho, I believe is the name, if I'm saying that correctly. You guys will notice I changed the name of the channel just because I switched my account to a brand account so that I can get more Google Analytics, computer nerd stuff. I'm going to spare you the boring details. Basho. I got you. train is rolling and there ain't no stopping. Sun is setting in the evening mountains. Big bridge on top crossed a mile down the road. It's about to hold more than it ever did. Big bridge on top, cross them rocks down below. That's where I'm gonna find rest for my soul. Maybe this time we won't make it across the big bridge. Big bridge been holding for 100 years. It's about to hold more than it ever did. I pray to Jesus that this bridge don't hold. 'Cause under this bridge is where we all belong, Lord. Big bridge on top, cross them rocks down below. That's where I'm gonna find rest for my soul. Maybe this time we won't make it across the big bridge. This bridge is headed for the Bama State Pen. If I make it there, I won't get out again, Lord. I've done enough time, I've learned my lesson. With the big bridge coming, all my sins I'm confessing, Lord. Big bridge on top, cross them rocks down below. That's where I'm gonna find rest for my soul. Maybe this time we won't make it across the big bridge. Big bridge on top, cross them rocks down below. That's where I'm gonna find rest for my soul. Maybe this time we won't make it across the big bridge. Big bridge on top, cross them rocks down below. That's where I'm gonna find rest for my soul. Maybe this time we won't make it across the big bridge. That's one of my oldest originals, Big Bridge. It's one of my oldest originals right there, man. Old Big Bridge. I wrote that song on my piano, the one that's in the house that I grew up in. Piano I learned how to play music on. Anyway, Brother Ghost in the chat asked for a or Sister Ghost, I don't know. I think Brother Ghost. Who knows? Who cares? Doesn't matter. Asked for an original song, so that's how we start off. So basically, I just wanted to give an update on a few things. I have changed the name of the YouTube channel from Kelsey Hudgins to In My Stuff Podcast by Kelsey Hudgins to a branded account, like a brand account. So I'm linking together a bunch of different things and doing things on computers that I don't know how to do. I'm linking together like websites to web pages together so that I can get like analytics from them and basically just find out how many people visit my site and stuff like that, and have that report to Google basically, and give numbers and give me numbers and stuff and make me make it easier for people to find me through search engines, because we want to build the podcast. That's what we're trying to do. I don't want to grow stale, and we have not done that, by the way. But I want to stay on top of it so that we don't. This last couple of weeks have been kind of busy, man. I've been a little busy. Sorry if you guys can't hear me that good. I'm trying to talk a little softer than normal because it is late, and I do have neighbors right through the walls. But yeah, crazy week, man. I was at a drive-through restaurant. I won't name which one, but there was this person in line in front of me who kept revving up his diesel engine and pumping just uber amounts of black smoke out of his vehicle, and kept slapping the window of the drive-through with some stick that would expand. And then when the window opened, he expanded this stick and stuck it in the window and held it there so that it couldn't shut. And at this point, I'm thinking, who the fuck is this dude and who does he think he is? Right, Vincent, 100%. I love cars, but I'm not saying that just like it was the fact that he just unnecessarily, I give a shit about the environment. He unnecessarily just revved up his engine and just pumped out all of this black smoke in the parking lot. Kept beating this little thing on the window of the drive-through and was screaming at the people just for sauces. And I was like, bro, you are asking for sauces for nuggets. You got this diesel engine, this let's say 2006 or 7 Dodge Ram with the Cummins diesel and what looked like an Allison transmission with, if I'm not mistaken, were Toyota terrain, all terrains, not even mud tires, they were all terrains. And you ordering nuggets, my man? Give me my nugget sauce, dude. You ordering nuggets? Come on, man. Get you, dude, if you're driving that, man, you gotta get some. Must have been that secret Szechuan sauce. We gotta get out of here, Morty. Yeah, that secret Szechuan sauce. It's back for a limited time, Morty. What's up, JL? Appreciate that. Appreciate you subbing. Appreciate you doing it. Bro, how you gonna get... What up, Abby? How you doing, darling? Bro, you got to do better than that, man. You ordering nuggets and you getting mad. You know what? I remember he needed 2 sweet and sours, 2 ranches, and 3 barbecues. With a truck like that. West Virginia plates, ladies and gentlemen. West Virginia plates. Dude, you got to get all barbecue with that get up, right? You got to get all barbecue with that get up. Also, please, ladies and gentlemen, be kind with that like button. I've been watching a lot of videos lately on how to do better production with, not production, but better como se dice, make the videos reach farther, I think, and I think like buttons do that. So if you don't mind, please do that. Share the video. Share the channel. I I really want to get to that 1,000 subscribers, man. So Steve Blevins, who was on the podcast last, we found out after the podcast, we were talking, and he was like, yeah, man, I got a video on YouTube that's got like a million views. And I was like, no, you don't. I was like, no, you don't. But dude, 1,000%, he's got a video that has 1 million views. JL, the Sauce Talk was I'll just give a real quick recap. There was a guy, I was in a drive-thru earlier, and there was a guy in front of me who had this like metal like stick. It was almost like a nightstick that expanded, but it was small. Like it looked like maybe one of those professor things, like an antenna off an old stereo. You remember? Yeah, like an old radio antenna or something that you could break off and turn. You remember we used to do that when we were kids? Did y'all do that too? You'd break off the radio antenna and use it as like a whatever. Anyway, it looked like one of those. He was tapping a window with it, and then it was sturdy enough to where he could hold the drive-through window open. And no, like I eyed him down like the whole time, and I like sat in the parking lot next door. Because they were like young girls that were working in this thing. And this dude was like, they were shook, obviously. They were shook. And by the way, I got out of there before he did. He was at the drive-thru in front of me, but this particular one had 2 windows. He was at the second of 2. I got my food at the third of 3, rather. We just got a new sub. Appreciate that, whoever that is. But anyway, yeah, dude, this guy did something dangerous, right? 100%. And I was like, dude, I asked that girl, I was like, what is this guy's problem? And I actually said something I shouldn't have said. Like, I was just in the heat of the moment. I called him a name that I probably shouldn't have called him. Like, you know, it'd probably be offensive to certain people who do a certain thing. But I don't really give a shit, man. I was like, what's this dude, what's this blankety blank's problem? And this girl was like, she didn't even respond. She was just like shook. It was weird. Like, man, we got to do better in the world. Well, I appreciate that, possibly Jimmy. If you're possibly Jimmy, then I'm not sure who you definitely are, but I appreciate you subbing. Thank you. Welcome. Yeah, man. So I got my food and I pulled over into the parking lot next to the thing, and as he had the stick in the window holding the fucking what you call it, the little window, holding the window open. Once he had that stick in there holding that thing open, a hand came out of the window with a bag that I can only imagine were his, 2 sweet and sour, 2 ranch, 3 barbecue sauces in the bag. Right, Ghost. It's like, it's not their fault. It's not the person that you're dealing with's fault. That's why I can't stand people who go to restaurants and get pissed off at the server when the food comes out wrong. Oftentimes the food, like, those people in the kitchen are just back there in a 112 degree kitchen, and they are making the same dish that they made just a minute ago, probably the same way, not thinking, okay, this one's not supposed to have cheese. Or this one's supposed to not have onions, or this is supposed to be medium rare, not medium well, or whatever have you. It's not the server's fault. Oftentimes it's not the server's fault. But yeah, I worked at Starbucks, Ghost, for like 4 years. You want to talk about somebody who's not happy? Dude, you fuck with somebody's coffee. They are not happy about that shit. Whenever you mess with somebody's coffee, dude, they are not happy about that. That's so awful. I hate people like that. And you're right, JL. Everybody's scared of confrontation, man. But I was just like, I just don't care, man. Like people like want to. I'll tell you this much: people want to like will holler at me or whatever, or say something to me in traffic because of my tiny car. But I'm a giant, dude. Once I get out of that tiny car, I guarantee you that anything that you had to say would stop. Man, I was just so upset at this thing, and I did pull over in a little parking lot next to it and made sure the guy pulled off because those girls that were inside working just looked disturbed. And man, how do you do that? How do you do that to somebody? What kind of person does that take? What kind of person does it take to literally somebody who's making a minimum wage working at 11:30 p.m. on a Tuesday night in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, when you're here on vacation? Obviously, I saw you driving back into Ocean Lakes. If you're out there listening, you piece of shit. And what kind of person does that take, West Virginia plates? Which is nothing against the great state of West Virginia. I know a lot of great people from the great state of West Virginia. Man, I'll do this so I can say what I want. Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains and the Shenandoah River. Life is old there, older than the trees, younger than the mountains that's flowing like the breeze. Country roads take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country roads, all my memories gather around her. Miner's lady and the stranger to blue water, dark and dusty, painted on the skies. Misty taste of moonshine, teardrop from my eyes. Country roads take me home to the place where I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country roads. I hear her voice in the morning hour. She calls me, and the radio reminds me of my home still far away. I get the feeling that I should have been back home yesterday. Yesterday, country roads take me home to the place where I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country roads. Anyway, there's for West Virginia, but Jesus Christ, this one, West Virginia plates, ladies and gentlemen. Blue, approximately 2006, maybe 7 Dodge Ram Cummins diesel. Man, don't be jealous, Benson. Thank you, JL. I really appreciate it. But seriously, what kind of second-rate human? And you're right, an idiot growing up in a first world with, no problems, but whatever. But man, what a moron. Who does things like that? Like, how is that okay? Is that what you do everywhere like where you're from? Do you do that at home, or is this something that people come here on vacation so they feel like they can treat it like a rental car because they're just gonna leave it. They're gonna drive in here in this place and they're gonna treat this thing like shit, and then they're gonna drive back home to wherever they're from. No self-awareness at all, man. You're right. Sad little people. I was like, I got to breathing heavy. I was like, just so upset about that. I was like, my adrenaline started pumping in the way that I was like preparing for like getting out of my vehicle and being like, yo, what is your fucking problem? Because first off, this day and age, you don't know what can happen at any given time. When we've got people who are at a country music festival and getting shot at, or we've got all of these different things that could be happening, and Myrtle Beach is not the place that is, exactly, that queasy adrenaline feels. It's just like you get in Myrtle Beach and we don't have the best news. You know, we don't have the best news coming out of our city all the time. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of things that have happened. People have been shot and stupid shit. You know, when I see this guy, and I'm explaining it to y'all as in I've looked at the whole thing and how it happened and how he pulled this thing out and expanded it and like was holding the window open. What if this idiot was holding the window open with a gun in this hand to like? And I know that's hypothetically thinking, but dude, like, in this day and age, that's the kind of thing that enters your mind. And that's so sad that I thought of that. It's so sad that my brain went there. But what can you do? It's 2019. Man, these people. What in the world? I really get so aggravated with that thought of, okay, well, we're gonna be out of this place soon. This person will never see me again. Who cares? That person cares. That's who cares. That person cares because you may have just been a dick to this person for however long you've been a dick to this person in this window before I got there and saw, because I was like 2 or 3 cars back, and this truck was at the like I said earlier, there were 3 windows, and yeah, absolutely, brain is aware, but it's sad that I have to go there. That's right, Abby. In a world full of shitty people, don't be one of those people. Jesus, thank God for that. Abby, I love you. That's awesome. That's my tagline. World full of shitty people, don't be one of those people. Be a good person. Come on, how hard is that? Like I said, there were 3 windows here. The pay window, and then there's 2 pickup windows. Which is great, by the way. They're doing that now. It's just, I'm a big fan of efficiency, and that's a good way of doing it. Anyway, I digress. This idiot was revving up his engine and blowing his horn while I'm 3 cars back, and then while I'm 2 cars back, and then while I'm the only car there. And this dude sat there the whole time revving his engine and blowing his horn, and I'm like, dude, there is obviously something going on. If you can't understand that, I'm so glad, Abby. I'm glad that did. But, I got his license plate number for sure. I actually took a little video of it. Actually, you know what? Where's my phone? If the video is on my phone, then it is on the cloud here. Right? It should be, yeah? Let's try that. Give me a second, folks. We might have something here. I have recorded video on my phone. I have to put in my password, which I have remembered, but it has sent me a message. Oh. Incorrect verification code. Send me another one. Yes, allow. Okay. Got it. Yes, trust this browser. It's mine. Why, of course. Oh, dude, JL, it's sick. It really is. Like, just for efficiency reasons, if there's any problem where somebody has a longer, like some order takes longer to do, it'd be in Starbucks. Like, we would have people that would order for an entire office worth of people that would block the line up for people who were just getting single coffees. So just to have an extra window, that would be very nice. That would be very, very nice. Now we open photos and we see if we have video of this thing that happened. Yes, we have video. Let's see if we play it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have succeeded in opening this video. Now let's do more work. Okay, now window capture. Oh, GarageBand. Google Chrome. Yes. For now. Just for now. You see the guy? He's got this piece of shit doing. He's got the stick holding the window open. You see him? I forgot to take video. Doing up here? See, she didn't even respond to me.
Thank you.
I forgot I was recording. But you see the guy has the stick there? You can see.
What is this piece of shit doing?
He's holding the window open with this stick.
What's this idiot doing up here?
Before I started recording, I called him something else. But you get what I mean. Alright, now let me go back over here. Right? What a jerk. Who does that? What an idiot. I mean, you know what? You know what that was? That was just a... Yeah, nobody liked that. Nobody likes that. That was bad. You know, we should have called the cops. We should have called them. We should have called them. We should have called him. But yeah, man, what kind of person does that take? Do you do that at home? And is that okay to just? I would imagine that. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Abby. I'm sure. And I take that into account. Like, you don't know what kind of day everybody is having. But that just seems excessive. Like, this guy's outburst of being a dick for, like, just a minute ruined the rest of this young lady's life that had to deal with this guy. And... like, I just feel so bad. I don't know. I just feel so bad whenever. That happens, Ghost. Ma! Oh, JL, 100%. If that dude if that guy would have come in Starbucks holding the window open with his little stick thing, that would have been a surefire way of not getting served. But going back to the 3-window thing, that's optimal efficiency right there. Optimal efficiency. I've been obsessed with this song lately. Well, I've come to know the wish list of my father. I've come to know the shipwrecks where he wished. And I've come here to wish aloud among the overdressed crowd. Come to witness now the sinking of the ship. Throwing pennies from the seat top next to it. And I've come to meet the... hold on. And I've come to roam the forest past the village with a dozen lazy horses in my cart. Yeah, I've come here to get high, to do more than just get by. I've come to test the timber of my heart. Oh, I've come to test the timber of my heart. And I've come to be untroubled in my seeking. And I've come to know that nothing is for naught. Yeah, I've come to reach out blind, to reach forward and behind. For the more I seek, the more I'm sought. Yeah, the more I seek, the more I'm sought. Well, I've come to meet the sheriff and his posse, to offer him the broadside of my jaw. Oh, I've come here to get broke and then maybe bum a smoke. Oh, we'll go drinking 2 towns over after all. Oh, we'll go drinking 2 towns over after all. And I've come to meet the legendary takers. I've only come to ask them for a lot. Yeah, they say I come with more than I should they say I come with less than I should rightfully possess. And I say the more I buy, the more I'm bought. And the more I'm bought, the less I cost. And I've come to take their servants and their surplus. And I've come to take their raincoats and their speed. I've come here to do more than the things I've done before. I've come to trade the harvest for the seed. Oh, I've come to trade the harvest for the seed. And I've come to know the manger that you sleep in. and I've come to be the stranger that you keep. I've come from down the road, and my footsteps never slowed. Before we met, I knew we'd meet. Yeah, before we met, I knew we'd meet. And I've come here to ignore your cries and heartaches. I've come to closely listen to you sing. I've come here to insist that I'll leave here with a kiss. I've come to say exactly what I mean. And I mean so many things. And you've come to know me stubborn as a butcher. And you've come to know me thankless as a guest. But will you recognize my face after God's awful grace strips me of my jacket and my vest and reveals all the treasure in my chest? Man, God, that's good. I just like that. Get me more paper, get me more paper. Some people are just jerks. Some people are just entitled. Right on, JL. Dude, right? That's Joe Pug, by the way. I can't take credit for that. I did not write that. That is Joe Pug. Joe Pug's a great songwriter. Man, that guy. People. Just people. Thank you, JL. I just get so disappointed. See, now, I'm very good, as of late, about looking for the good in things. You know, looking for... Ain't no sunshine. Let's see. I figured as much. Yeah, man. I just get, and I've been doing so good lately about giving people the benefit of the doubt, like giving people, you know, maybe you were going through something, maybe you've got something else going on at home, and I'll even say that, man, like you've obviously got something else. You've obviously got something else going on in your life to where you have it's causing you to react this way to this situation. But this situation doesn't deserve that kind of a reaction from you. So, you know, maybe think about what it is going on in your life. But that guy doesn't know what this girl had going on in her life, man. I mean, she's working late night at a fast food restaurant. I'm just saying, I know that maybe this is not her goal in life. This is not her end game. But just because this person is just trying to do what they have to do right now to make dollars, don't make their life a miserable place. I hate that, man. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. darkness every day. There ain't no sunshine when she's gone. This house just ain't a home anytime she goes away. Wonder this time when she's gone. It's so cold when she's away. There ain't no sunshine when she's gone. This house just ain't no home anytime she goes away. I know, 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 I know. Better leave a young thing alone. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. It's only darkness every day. There ain't no sunshine when she's gone. This house just ain't a home anytime she goes away. I know, 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 I know. You better leave the young things alone. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. There's only darkness every day. There ain't no sunshine when she's gone. This house just ain't no home anytime she goes away. Anytime she goes away. Anytime she goes away. Anytime she goes away. We go into Tom Waits' version. Anytime she goes away. Tom Waits' version. Oh man, appreciate that, JL. Thanks, Benson. That's right, Ghost Man. Dude, it doesn't take much to make somebody's day. It really does. And you know what? I'm the worst at that. And anybody, and most of you guys know because you've seen and heard me talk before, but a lot of the things I say, I'm mostly talking to myself. Like I'm saying, like, it's not hard to make somebody's day. And I used to be the worst about it, like where people would just be trying to talk to me after a gig or something like that. And I would just be, oh, thank you so much. And they just turn around and just like start wrapping cables and shit like that. And sometimes I do that depending on how tired I am. But it just doesn't take much to change somebody's life in that second, in that instant. Like, it doesn't, just a simple smile, or just being kind. I always make sure to, like, point out that I notice when other people are making people feel shittily, and to be like, I understand where you're at and you're doing a good job, when, especially if I don't know. Oh, a little Sebastian. You like a little Sebastian there? A little Sebastian action? A little Parks and Rec action? Yeah, it does. I'm sure it just makes people feel like shit. Just putting that out in the world. Abby's probably listening along. I do that a lot in Jamie's chat. I'll be like listening, but I'll be doing other stuff. But it sucks, Abby, that you had to cry, and that those people would do things that would push you to that. Like, how hard is it to just be kind? Just be nice. In a world full of shitty people, don't be one of those people. How hard is that? Can't be that hard, right? Uh-oh, something just happened in GarageBand. The project has too many real instrument tracks to be played in real time. I don't get it. Oh well, whatever we lost on audio, forgive me. That's right. Oh yeah, 100%. It makes you feel like, well, and Benson, dude, I know exactly what you mean, but I'm sure we all have actual friends that we could go hang out with. But I just get the anxiety so bad when I leave my house. And it's mostly because I'm overweight, and I've learned that just by listening to podcasts that the 900% of the people, 999% of the people who have anxiety don't exercise. Like, that's the one thing that they all have in common. And if I would stop going to these fucking drive-through restaurants that I go through and start getting off of my ass every now and again for an hour a day, for 30 minutes a day. If I would just get outside of my house on my bicycle, or just walk for a half hour a day, I would probably feel so much better about myself, and so much better about life, and so much better about everything. I would probably not have anxiety. I would probably have a lot less depression than I have. And I don't have a lot right now. Like, I'm actually in good headspace right now in my life. But I just know that I'm never too far away from it, just because I've always been that dark, the dark mind. And I don't know. I just, if I would just get off my ass and do something, I would feel a lot better about myself. I talked about how I was so excited about how I hadn't eaten fast food in so long. The first episode that I ever uploaded to YouTube, you guys can go back and watch it if you like. But it was episode 16 of the podcast was the first episode that I uploaded, and we're on 151 now. We're But on the first one I ever uploaded, I was like, man, I haven't had fast food but once in like the last month. And I was so excited about that. So I could pinpoint it to back when I first started my YouTube channel. That, it does. It helps a lot. Like I get a lot of everybody's like, Timmy Pierce, my buddy. Anywho, Timmy Pierce, Timmy Pierce says, man, you love a minor chord. I'm like, yeah, because that's how I feel, I feel that way. Most people feel this way. Most people feel this way. Most people feel this way. But I feel this way. Most of the time. So I play like that. A diminished, like a it's like a John Mayer song I remember. And I like John Mayer. I don't care what people think. John Mayer has been consistent throughout his entire career. Every stage of his career, he has been consistent. And not only that, any artist who's cool enough to hang out with Dave Chappelle is probably got to be pretty cool IRL, in real life, so the kids say. Benson, you learn one barcode, you've learned all of them. Because this barcode, this E, this F, this F sharp, G, A flat, A, B or B sharp, C, or B flat, B, C. The same shape goes all the way up. And then this shape, they'll teach you gotta, but I don't like that. I just like to go do this right here. If you want to get the full sound, you can, but it's hard to do that, and I have to hold my tongue just right to get it. This works just fine right here. Hell yeah, free lessons. If you want to go back to this shit, I'll show you how to do cool stuff on the guitar. I don't mind at all. I'm not good at teaching, but if you can decipher what I'm saying, because I'll say what I mean, but not exactly. Like I'll know what I mean, but I might not say that thing sometimes. But I'll say something different than what I actually mean, but I will think I'm saying what I actually mean. I know that sounds like a psycho talking right now, but guitar for me was like a video game. I played it like a video game. I picked bosses, but I picked it was like a real life video game. And I picked bosses. I was like, okay, once I learn how to play Hotel California, like I'll be good then, like and now I'm getting to the point where, and then I was like, okay, Hotel California. Then if I can learn how to play Little Wing, I'll just quit. If I learn how to play Little Wing, I could just, if I do have to do that right, I won't need to learn anything else. But then I got to the point to where I was like, I can learn these songs, but that doesn't mean that I know how to play the guitar. Hotel California is good, man. That solo, that little... I never know what to do after that part, and I always just kind of fall apart. I figured as much, Abby. Thanks for hanging out there. Love it when y'all do that. No, like the chord, but that's what I'm saying. That's just to give you an example. I remember setting the I remember saying that when I learned how to do this, like this was the boss at that time. You know, that was like Mario level 8 for me. You know, that was like beating the regular Mario on the NES. And then I picked up, like, wanted to learn how to play Little Wing by Jimi Hendrix. And that was like trying to beat Super Mario 3 on the NES. You know, that was like what I had to compare it to back then. And now I don't have that. I don't really listen to music as much. I try to just like let the song take me where it wants me to go, you know? Like, not make plans or anything. Like, there's certain songs where I want to do the solo right, like that, like the yeah. It was better than beating any video game that I'd ever beaten. Oh man, I got Zelda 2. I still got my NES from when I was a kid. I really like this little thing right here. Wish I could just do stuff like this on, like, live, but I can't. Never works out right. Ooh, PS1. PS1 was the shit. We got a PS1, and I had, came with Cool Borders 2. And shit, it came with another game that we didn't play much. All I really remember was Cool Borders 2. And then we bought the original Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. And I was Shaggy. I was always Shaggy, that snowboarder Shaggy. And then I got Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. And my Aunt Marie played Siphon Filter and Splinter Cell and stuff like that. Siphon Filter, 1,000%. That's so funny. You typed that as I was saying it. Dude. That Cool Borders was so damn fun, man. It's like, get air. And you could like, oh, right? Nostalgia dump, 100%. But yeah, like Siphon Filter and Splinter Cell. My Aunt Marie played, but all I played was Cool Borders 2 until I got Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. And then it was all Tony Hawk Pro Skater all the time. Like, even when the new Tony Hawks came out, I still played the old one until, here's one for you, Twisted Metal. When Twisted Metal came out, and there was like, my brother knew how to get online. My brother's friend knew how to get online. He knew how to get online and Twisted Metal. Right. Oh, dude, I didn't even realize you wrote that up there. Yeah, Twisted Metal, dude. My brother's friend had a code that he could put in for God mode, where you could not be destroyed, and you had unlimited ammo. And we would ride around and just destroy shit and get to the end and beat it. And man, that shit was awesome. We also, my brother's big into NASCAR and racing and stuff like that. So we played the NASCAR games on PlayStation 2. Not PlayStation 2, but on PlayStation as well. My Aunt Marie also got a PlayStation 2, but I kind of skipped the PlayStation 2 era. I didn't really fuck PlayStation too much. I had she played like garage band, rock band, and oh yeah, buying those magazines to get the codes, 1000%. You could go to. This was when GameStop was first coming out. They were first getting big. But when they first popped up, there was like a GameStop in every single shopping center everywhere. You could go buy the magazine for the game, and it like a walkthrough. They were called walkthroughs. But we used to go to GameFAQs.com. Y'all remember GameFAQs.com? FAQS? GameFAQs.com and get the walkthrough. We'd go to GameFAQs.com and get the walkthrough, so we'd make sure to not screw anything up. We'd play the game right, and those were the days, man. They were so much fun. But I realized that like I wasn't really playing the game, because the point of playing the game is to beat it without any help, right? So I was like, man, I'm not really playing the game. So by the time like Siphon Fill, or by the time that all that stuff went away, and I never had an Xbox. I've always only had PlayStation stuff, because my Aunt Marie got a PlayStation 3 when the PlayStation 3 came out, and shortly after that she passed away, and I got her PlayStation 3. So whenever I got her PlayStation 3, I was literally just using it for like streaming stuff. But I've never really been into stuff. I've never really been into video games much after I started playing music, because like that's what I was just about to say. Is I got into guitar when I was 13, so that was like right around when I was 13. That would have been like year 2000, and in 2000, the big thing that was out then was like. That was probably the Xbox 360 maybe had just come out. No, not really. I think it was still the original Xbox, and the PlayStation 2 were the big deal then. Yeah, so I wasn't doing once I started playing guitar, I stopped fucking with the video games. But when my Aunt Marie passed away and I got her PlayStation 3, I've always been a huge baseball fan, so I started playing this game called MLB Slugfest. And 2003 Slugfest. That was my game. I'd play that shit every day. I loved it. And then they stopped making the Slugfest, and they started doing MLB The Show. MLB The Show is where you can actually go and program your own baseball player. And I'm a huge baseball fan. I know it's not a lot of people like baseball, but I'm one of those nerds that do. But you can go in and create your own player and make him, like enter the draft, and then you got to play in AAA until you get called up to the big leagues. And I've done that. I've had every year since 2009, MLB 09, the show, all the way up until this year. I got 10 years worth of it coming up next year. They'll release 19, the show, next year, right before the season starts. Kind of, but it's like you're actually playing the guy, but you're creating the you're actually the guy. You're creating the you're just creating his experience. Here's the thing, JL, and I'm not a bad. I have nothing against the AL. I'm a Braves fan, so we are National League. But the MVP of the All-Star game hit an RBI double tonight. I just miss when the All-Star game was like bomb fest and stuff like that. I mean, I have no problem with it. I just love baseball, period. I watch the game. But actually, I didn't watch the first half. I watched the second half, which I should have watched the first half because that was when my Braves were out there. We had Ronald Acuna, Freddie Freeman, and Mike Soroka. But, man, I just remember thinking back to, like, hearing people talk about Ted Williams in the All-Star game and Reggie Jackson in the All-Star game and stuff like that. You don't have that no more. But yeah, no, you can in the show you can play the game and you play the guy, you get him into AAA, AA to AAA, and you keep playing until you get called up to the big leagues, and then you can play in the big leagues for as many years as you can go, and you make playoff runs. You simulate seasons. And what's really cool about it is there's an option where you don't have to watch all the action in the game. There's an option to where you're only playing the game. My poor little chair is like dying over here. I hear you. I'll start doing some laps. Don't worry. But you only play the game when the ball is being hit to you or when you're at bat. So you don't have to sit through every single game. You can play through like a season. If you're dedicated, you can play through a season in a couple of weeks. You grew up in Ohio, so are you like Cleveland and Cleveland fans all around? I'm imagining you said the Indians, right? I imagine you're Cleveland, or are you also a Raptors fan? For in which case I will congratulate you. But if you grew up in Ohio, you're probably a Cavaliers fan. I'd imagine, right? Or no, you could be a Supersonics fan. Hell yeah for that dog. Maple Leafs and Blue Jays. What's so funny is it seems like all Canada gives a shit about is hockey. Really, it's like they have a baseball team and they have a basketball team, but hockey is their thing. And like they've gotten Toronto to do really well over the last few years. And actually, Toronto, your GM is now with us in Atlanta. Alex Anthopoulos is now in Atlanta with us, the former GM of the Blue Jays. But love you back, Abby. Thanks for hanging out. Good for that dog, though. But yes, you hear that? Hold on. You'll do it again in a minute. Get my chair to fart. There it is. All right, Buzz. Thanks so much. Love you back. Thanks for hanging out. Tell Ginger I said Jay Baba. But yeah, they love hockey. And the Blue Jays have done really well over the last few years, making playoff runs and having the best team in baseball over the last couple of years, even going to a World Series. And then the Raptors just win an NBA championship. And the poor Maple Leafs, the poor Leafs are doing nothing. And I'm sorry about that. I have a few listeners up in Canada. Forgive me for that. I'm sorry if that's a sore subject. And I don't even know if this will be an episode, by the way. This might not be an episode, but it could be. Because I'm not sure if I'll get to record one tomorrow. So if you do hear this and if you've sat through this nonsense that I'm talking about, sorry. I know it's all haphazard and all around. But, oh, yeah. Shit. I started this thing a while ago when we started talking about things. I forgot to tell you what I started this thing to tell you. So I have been trying to, as I've said, connect all of my websites to one spot. And like all of my, like for instance, my YouTube, my Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, everything, the IMDb page. I've been trying to link all of these things together in one spot. So, in doing that, I've found out that there's a lot of small steps that you have to take to get to the point to where you can do all of these things. And basically, since my goal is to further my reach, if you will, online, I have to like give data to Google. I have to give data, like basically a backdoor key to every website that I have so that they can, and I know that this is the kind of thing that freaks me out generally, but it has to be done. And it's basically I have to give Google, in this analogy, best way to describe it is giving Google a backdoor key to all of my sites so that they can see how many visits, like what kind of traffic, what demographic, what, just basically data. And I have to give them this to get where I want to be, which is further, like closer to the top. I've gotten to the point now, and you guys can try it. It might be different because I'm Googling myself, but I've gotten to the point to where when I Google myself, every site on the front page is actually me, because I'm pretty sure I'm the only Kelsey Hudgins in the world. Like not like I'm the only Kelsey Hudgins doing what I do in the world. Like I'm the only one that's like trying to, I guess you could call it a social media presence that's trying to do that. And I know that's awful, and I hate things like that, but that's basically what I'm doing. I mean, I can rag on it all day, but that's basically what I'm doing is I'm trying to become a social media presence. And it's just these weird steps that you have to take to do that. And I've just gone so long with like being like, oh, these guys just listening in on me. Like, what am I doing? Where I'm afraid that they're going to hear me doing something. Like, I'm not doing anything that I'm afraid of anybody hearing. I hear you, JL. Well, I appreciate you. I appreciate you being here on the YouTube with us. But still, this YouTube, and I was focusing too hard on my YouTube page to where it was almost beginning to neglect my audio podcasts. Which, by the way, if you guys don't mind, and you don't mind and you have a few seconds, please go to Spotify and follow MI Stuff Podcast and Apple Podcasts or Castbox or Google Play. Anywhere podcasts are available, please go and follow the podcast. I'm really trying to. I've been doing this thing for a while, and to trying to not get stagnant and with the content, and to not get stagnant with basically advancing it. I want to try to keep the numbers going up. So if you guys wouldn't mind subscribing to the podcast and on like Apple and Spotify or Google Play. I'm sure everybody's got Spotify now or Castbox, whichever way you listen to podcasts. If you would subscribe to me, that would really mean a lot, and I'd certainly appreciate it. But I don't know, just I've been doing the YouTube stuff so often that I was sort of neglecting the audio, and that's where I get my biggest reach. Like outside of YouTube, all of my stuff in YouTube is from America, and a couple from Canada. I get a few from Europe every now and again, but every single time I release an episode, I'm getting downloads in Switzerland. I'm getting a couple of downloads now in Ireland, or a download in Ireland. So if you are the lone Irish listener, I certainly appreciate you for listening. Thank you so much. And a few from Russia, a couple from, I don't know what it's called, like this symbols, Chinese symbols. I'm not sure if it's Chinese or Japanese, but absolutely, JL. Any voice is a good voice when it's doing the right thing. You know, I've been trying for a very, very, very long time to train myself to make the right decision or say the right thing on demand. I don't have much of a filter, and the less energy I have, the less of a filter I have. So I've really been trying hard to alter the things that I think and the things that I say immediately, just by cleansing myself of these things. Like, I want to try to cleanse myself of this shit that I have in me that might strike someone in a negative way, or you know, I don't want to be that guy anymore. And I used to not mind being the guy. And sometimes it's easier to be the asshole. Every now and again, it's just simply easier to be an asshole. And I don't know. I don't want to be that guy anymore, man. Here lately, I've been trying to live my life like I want people to tell the truth about me at my funeral. Isn't that a country song? Live my life so the preacher won't have to lie. Can't remember who did it. Some female artist. There it went again. I'm such a child. I came here to talk to you guys about the new changes that I made to the account over the last few hours, and tell you why there's a new name, why you're seeing In My Stuff Podcast by Kelsey Hudgins instead of just Kelsey Hudgins now, and that's because I'm trying to tie everything together and to tie my name and the In My Stuff Podcast together digitally. which is a lot of work. And I didn't realize the amount of work that it took to do this, to pull it off. I didn't realize how hard it was to do this thing. And I've discounted how hard people that do computer stuff work, because it's strenuous mental tasks, that it's a bunch of like, you have to do this thing, and this thing will send you to one place, and this one place is going to send you to 3 other places with things you have to do before you can go back and do the one thing. And then doing that one thing will solve the one single problem that you started with, but you had to solve 3 other problems. It's very much like a game that I play on my phone called Homescapes, which we are not sponsored by Homescapes. We are sponsored by Screwball Whiskey, however, ladies and gentlemen. Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. Tomorrow's stories begin right here. Screwball Whiskey. Hashtag get screwed. SKREW. Screwball Whiskey with a K.com. Homescapes, this game I play on my phone, is this guy who is living at his parents' house, or no, he was a butler at some rich guy's house, and he went back home to his house, and his house was a wreck, but it used to be awesome, and his parents are talking about selling the house. So he's like, no, we don't want you to sell the house that I grew up in, so we're going to remodel this house. So the game is, you are remodeling this guy's parents' house so that his parents don't sell his house that he grew up in. Oh man, Ghost, keep your head up, man. That right swiper will come up soon enough. See, that's a double joke. Right swiper. It could mean the correct swiper, or just simply that they will swipe right. Keep your head up, man. Chin up. You'll be good. You know what, man? I don't even do those apps. I don't do the apps. I don't even try. I don't. And see, the thing is, I'm a musician. I play gigs all the time, dude. It's not like I couldn't if I wanted to. I just simply don't want to, because I've just seen too many people around me make just horrible decisions with people that they date, or not even just date, but just even go out with and associate with. But man, it's just not worth it. It's so not worth it. Too, I don't like just some of the things that I've experienced in being a musician, some of the things that you see and witness. It's like, dude, seriously, if you're willing to, here's my problem. The state of Washington, absolutely. They're right out of San Diego, California. So you're right. Yeah, absolutely. I hear you, Benson. But no, my problem is that I will see a girl who I don't know very well, who seems to be down with quote unquote hooking up. And I'm like, if you're the kind of girl who would, quote unquote, hook up with me, though you don't really know me at all, I don't think that you're the kind of girl that I want to, quote unquote, hook up with. So I just don't see that. That's my problem, is that I think too much. I overthink that. And I'm not to brag, but it's something that I have, and it's more of a curse than it is a blessing. But something that I have is to where I pay too close attention to people. I pay too much attention. I keep a very close watch on people. I don't know why I do that. I just notice things that other people don't notice about people, and I'll notice something months before the rest of the people around them notice it, is what I'm saying. And I'm just very selective about the people who I allow that close into my life. And of course there's a couple, but just you have to be so careful this day and age, because I play music and I because I play music and I'm sort of a local, like I'm a well-known person locally, and I'm hoping to one day be a well-known person digitally as well. And, you know, I have to be so very careful. Like, I'm planning ahead to the point to where I even have a podcast that I've done in the past. Observer. I'm 100% an observer. I just notice things that other people don't notice. Like, and I've talked about this several times in podcasts in the past. But one example is one time I was playing a gig, and it was me and Smitty doing a duo at Boardwalk Billy's, one of my favorite rooms in the world to play in North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Boardwalk Billy's is a great place. If y'all are ever in North Myrtle Beach, definitely stop by there. Not a sponsor, just a place I love. But yeah, no, the first person who requested a song wrote it on a napkin and brought it up to us. Then every single person who requested a song from different tables throughout the room brought their request up on napkins. And then at the end, we had like a pile of 5 or 6 napkins on this little bar stool that was sitting in front of us. And I noticed that everybody did that, and I said to Smitty, I was like, did you realize what they did, what this room did? And he was like, what? I was like, dude, the first person made a request on a napkin. Every single person in the room did the same thing after that because they saw the first person do it. And he was like, dude, how do you notice this shit? And I'm like, I don't know. But it just pops out at me. This shit just pops out. And I can't help it. But that's very wise of you. Very wise of you, Ghost. Just only date girls you know, people who you cannot call on, I can not only call my love, but also my friend. Absolutely, man. You can't. That's the problem with people they have this idea of, okay, I have a friend who cannot stay single. He is a habitual relationship haver. If he gets out of a relationship, he has to jump immediately into another relationship. And it's happened several times already that I've noticed. And that is just so unhealthy. And I think, does this person even know who they are? Does this person even have any idea who they are? Because I feel like, and of course I could just be using my filter on how I see this situation, and it could be completely different for them. But I wonder, do you know who you really are? Like, do you, after you've just, because once you're with someone, once you're in a relationship with someone, every decision that you make, everything that you say, every decision that you make, you have to take into account that there's this other person that you may also affect by this decision that you make. Every decision that you make will do that. So how then can you be 100% yourself if you've not taken the time to be alone long enough to learn who that is? And that's something that I have, like if I were having a self-help book, like if I were gonna do this, like and I might one day, if I were gonna give steps, like a step program on I'm not like a 12-step program, that's foolish, but like a few, like the top 5 things you need to do to start living a better life and start being a better you, is one of those things is spending plenty of time alone. And a lot of people fear that. That's I would guess, I'm not sure where it ranks on fears as far as like clowns or drowning or spiders or snakes or shit like that, but I'd imagine that being alone is probably one of the biggest fears that most people have. And I think that spending time alone really gives you enough time to learn who you are. It gives you the opportunity to take into account that there might be things about you that you did not know. And I did that. I took the time to be alone in my darkest hour, in the darkest hour, what felt like the 11th hour to me. I took that time and I spent it alone because I wanted to see who I was. I'd been drunk for 7 years of my life. I'd been drunk for more than 7 years of my life. And I didn't know who I was, and I wanted to know who I was. So if I had to give a step, I would say the first step in making your life better for yourself or being a better person is spending plenty of time alone so that you can properly learn, so you can properly assess your mentality and who you are. I don't think so. But I tell you what you can do, JL. If you want to go to that website that I just put in there, you can scroll down a little bit and there's a little blue button. The buttons are corny looking. I'm trying to get the buttons updated on the website. If you want to click that website there, you can go down to the right side and see the link that says Screwball, and that'll get you there. Let me actually copy and paste. I don't know if that's any better. Yeah, there you go. The first one wasn't a link. There's your link. So you can go to mistuffpodcast.com and scroll down just under the About section right there. And there's a button that says click below for peanut butter whiskey. Screwball, click that blue button that says Screwball. And it will redirect you to screwballwhiskey.com, and you verify that you are over 21 years old. And let's see, can you buy in here? I don't know if you can buy from the actual website. Maybe you can't. Let's see. We're going to get you hooked up here. We'll figure this thing out. Okay, here we go. There's one. We can go to there. Oh man, the link's too long. I appreciate that, JL. Very kind of you. I know that the audio folks are probably bored AF right now because it's probably been like radio silence for the last few minutes. Sorry. Let's go find another site that maybe. Oh man. I tell you what, we're gonna have my brother on here. My brother's going to be on here in the next couple of weeks, and Screwball Whiskey is his company. So that's awesome, Jay. I really appreciate that. But either way, I know that I've been creating a lot of uptick of visits to their website just from listeners here. So. But yeah, my brother's going to be coming on to do an episode soon. He's bringing me another bottle because my guests have liked it a lot and they have drained it. So, which is good because they said the average life of a bottle is 20 something minutes, and this one lasted, because I don't drink it. It was just for the guests, and the first one to try it was, who was the first one to try it? Was it Dustin? Might have been Dustin Harnish on that episode. Yeah, if you guys want to see people, I'm not sure about that, Benson. I'm not real sure about that. Maybe there may be. I don't know if are there any international laws of shipping to Australia? Maybe. Straya. Damn, Straya, you crazy. You scary. Straya. What part of Straya are you from, Drongo? Probably so, JL. You're probably right. Probably just shipping fees. Is that because the earth is flat? Near Sydney. I heard that everything closes super early in Australia. Is that true? Like everything closes at like 6 o'clock at night because they want to emphasize like more family time and stuff? Are casinos a big deal in Australia? I don't know a lot about Australia. For those listening and not watching, our buddy Drongo from Australia says pubs have a lockout laws and close before 3, except for casinos, which are 24/7. I had a friend who I went to church with when I was doing the church thing. Oh yeah, we got a 2 o'clock thing here on. We can stay open in South Carolina. We can stay open 24 hours a day. We're 23 and a half hours a day. The state requires that you close for 30 minutes a day, and you can stay open for 24 hours. The only thing is after 2 a.m. From 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. or maybe 7. But I think 6 a.m. From 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. I think there's no liquor sales, but you can buy beer all night long. Oh man, I bet so. But yes, there was a friend that I went to church with who was part of. You familiar with? I know there's a huge Christian presence in Australia, and this guy sang for the Hillsong, the Hillsong Ministries. I don't know if you're familiar with Hillsong. They're like a Christian band, Christian church, and they've come to America a bunch and done a lot of stuff. And I was so obsessed with that band when I was in the church thing. They were my favorite band. Yeah, you guys have some. There's gun laws in Australia. Didn't you guys pass a gun law? Yeah, disarmed U.S. How is that? Was there like a lot of? Did that happen in your lifetime? I can't, because I'm not familiar with the laws. I'm not. Did everybody cause kind of a ruckus about being disarmed, or has that sort of always been a thing? How do the people react to that kind of thing, being disarmed as a group of people? Because where I'm at in America, that would not go over well. A lot of quote unquote good old boys, like old West Virginia with his diesel truck. What is this? This is the devil's work. Why can't we have our alcohol on Sunday? When I grew up, we used to have to, but I grew up right at the North Carolina line. And when I was a kid, you could buy alcohol every day of the week in North Carolina, but they couldn't sell any alcohol after 2 a.m. I hear you, Tasha. But no, I don't know if you were here earlier for the story, Tasha, where the West Virginian, you can still buy semi-autos. I hear you. Yeah, it's sort of the kind of thing you just sort of have to accept it. But yeah, your patriots, I'm sure, don't want to be unarmed. But I bet your patriots aren't unarmed. They're just probably not legally. It's just not legally, or they're illegally armed. No, Tasha, the West Virginia guy in the truck earlier that was beating on the window of this McDonald's, and I got my phone out and recorded a little bit of it, but the recording that I got was just the guy holding the window open with this stick thing. Wasn't that PewDiePie shooting guy? Wasn't that Australia? Or was that New Zealand? God, man, that thing really, really upset me, because a friend of mine who's really into catching stuff like that before it gets taken down, like videos like that. He sent it to me in the middle of the night, like, don't watch this video, but it's going to be gone soon, kind of thing. And I watched it, and it is the most devastating thing I've ever seen in my life, where this dude is just talking, live streaming. He's just talking to the camera like, remember, go subscribe to PewDiePie, lads. And then just walks into this mosque and just starts unloading on people. Like, just, he's walking down the street with these weapons, and It's just awful, man. Just to see that video, just to see this guy, and he had a helmet cam on. He had a helmet cam on and just walking down the street with shotguns on his back. Very, very cowardly. Very, very cowardly indeed. Just, I cannot imagine the radicalization that this guy went through. How do people get radicalized that easily? I agree, Ghost. Weak-minded, Benson, you're right. Men are not meant to kill other men. I agree with that. I agree with that wholeheartedly. I hate that there is that kind of hate in the world. And there's probably a lot of brainwashing that goes on there. But where does this brainwashing come from? From which vessel? Like, what was this guy? I actually got into this with Steve yesterday in the podcast that I did with him about these people who have this negative rhetoric against Muslim people or a specific research witnesses they silenced. Oh wow. But no, I just this whole anti-Muslim rhetoric that we're all being pushed is, I'm not sure if it's 100% necessary. Just because there's a lot of negativity, there's a lot of bad things that are happening to people who don't deserve it because of this. And I'm not one to say anything other than, it takes got to break a few eggs to make an omelet. But that's the thing, and I'm with you, Benson. Just don't want the country to become Muslim. I don't want the country to become religion, to become any sort of religious. I want the people of the country to be able to worship whoever they want to worship and pray to whatever God they want to pray to. But I don't think that any of that should define the country. I don't think any of that should define the country. It just, we should be free to do what we want, People should be free to do what they want. They should be free to not accept someone else as God if they don't want to. But what does that change? Does that change anything about your life or their life? No, it doesn't. But no country should be defined by their religion. I'm a Christian. I don't go around to every one of my friends that isn't a Christian and preach to them about how they should be a Christian. I don't do that. And it seems like that's what so many people are doing. So many people in this country are like, well, these people, they pray to a different God, and even Steve yesterday did bring up a point of like saying, well, their religious texts basically is saying, kill the infidel and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, the Old Testament of our Bible says a lot of really suspect shit that Jesus came along and rewrote. And the Bible says that he did that. Our religious texts say a lot of, sketchy shit. for lack of a better term, in the Old Testament. And I'm sure that all religious texts are just about the same, you know. And our Bible says there's a time for peace and there's a time for war. And, you know, enemies of Israel or enemies of Jerusalem will perish and stuff like that. And it says a lot of stuff like that in the Old Testament. But Jesus Christ came, and I've said this so many times, Jesus Christ came back with a new message saying, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, strength, and mind, and your neighbor as yourself, and all else will be added unto you. And, you know, keep your 10 commandments and love the Lord your God and everybody around you as you love yourself. Like, that's just the golden rule. And it's so easy. It's so easy. If you just treat everybody else in the world like it's you, then this world would be a 100% better place. And we wouldn't care what God someone prays to or what name they call the God that they pray to. Wouldn't care. Nobody would care. There is just absolutely, JL. And we all try to be kind to each other, Tasha. But no, it's like these things won't matter. These things don't matter. The Jeffrey Epsteins of the world mess it up, though. You are 1,000% right. The Jeffrey Epsteins and the... what's his name? The Joel Osteens of the world. And forgive me, I know that there may be some Joel Osteen fans out there, and I'm not... If that blows your skirt up, then by all means, go for it. But my granddad loved Joel Osteen. He watched Joel Osteen every Sunday. And man, I just couldn't do it. Yep, same deal. John of God. Just same deal. All of these people are like that. The preacher that just bought Tyler Perry's jet. And man, I just can't understand, like, when this stuff was going down in Houston. And this country, I mean, this city has literally, dude, Houston got rocked. I have just 2 or 3 people who I consider my best friends. One of my best friends is a cameraman, a freelance cameraman, who I will never be able to get on the podcast because he'll never do it. But it would be the greatest interview ever if I could ever get him here. But he's a cameraman, freelance, and he's worked for Weather Channel. He's worked for NBC, ABC, all the major networks. But he's a freelance cameraman. He was shooting live shots from Houston in, like, you know, knee-deep water of Houston getting flooded. And there's just the enormous mega church sitting in the middle of Houston with the children of Houston standing around this building, that they would not let them in because they said certain parts of the building were not safe. Listen here. That building that has been paid for by quote unquote God's money, he said it was not safe. Dude, inside that building is probably 1,000 times more safe than outside in the elements where water is rising and people are driven out of their homes and they don't have anywhere to go. What bothers me so much about Christians, and I'm so sorry, Christians, but I have the right to say this because, damn it, I am one, and there's too many people that are doing this thing wrong. The biggest problem I have with Christians is they want so badly for the world, and this is a majority, this is not all of you, Forgive me if you were one who believes that you do this right, then you go on about your business. But I'm sorry, for most of the Christians that I think the world judges us by, the worst of us, want to go out into the world and tell the entire world that God has blessed them and He's given them these things in their lives. And they want to do this in a way to where you feel like you are a lesser person because you have not been blessed the way that they have been blessed. And they want to show you how you can also be blessed like they can be blessed. But when it comes time for them to lend a helping hand to someone who needs it, to be the good Samaritan that Jesus was, when a time when they should run through the temple and flip the tables and call people out for doing things that they shouldn't be doing in the church, they don't want to do that. All they want to do is they want to be seen in church on Sunday. They want to take a picture to post on their Facebook that God has blessed me and that they have been to this place where they congregate with all of God's people. And they want the entire world to look at them and say, that person's really got their shit together. That person's really a godly person. But you know what? When it comes time for them to be Jesus, they don't want to be that. And what is our job as Christians? Our job isn't to make more Christians. Because you know what? I'm going to say it. There's plenty of us. There's enough Christians out there. But you know what? They're not real. A lot of them aren't real. A lot of them have never read the Bible. They're only going by whatever the preacher that they've trusted for all this time says. Now, I'm going to go with the fact that 90% of your small town preachers in your small churches with your small congregations, and we'll get back into chat in a second. I want a tangent here. With your small congregations and your small churches, and these people who literally love God and they feel God in them and they want to spread that feeling to other people. Those people, I'd bet that they're legit. I would say that upper 90 percentile are legit. But these mega churches, these people who, now, and I'm not saying all of them. But these people who just make church the show, they make everything just a big giant production and it turns into something completely different. And they rope people in with all of these candies and sweets and sugars. And I'm not saying literally these things. They just sugarcoat everything about this. Come here and listen to this feel-good message and get sent back into the week, feeling like $1 million. You know what? I grew up in the kind of church where you walked in, if you left feeling the same way you felt when you got there, you hadn't been to church. There was toe-stepping. There were preachers who would say shit that needed to be said. Forgive my language while I'm talking about God, but I have to be real, and this is just who I am. Forgive me. But there are just too many people who take this, I'm going to go to church and I'm going to be a Christian and I'm going to live a godly life. And they plug in all of the things that they like out of the Bible, but none of the things that they don't like. They're like, okay, I'll do this, and I'll do this. I'll go to church. I'll go to church and I'll go to church and I'll be seen. I'll read my Bible. I'll stand up and I'll raise my arms when they sing that song that I like. And I will show everybody around me that I know who God is and that I've been blessed by Him. But they get out of that church service and they'll go to this restaurant that 50% of the congregation also goes to after church. And they'll treat their server like shit and not give them a tip because of something that is out of their control. There's a callback. That's what they call that in comedy, ladies and gentlemen. Circling back around to what we did in the beginning of the podcast, talking about servers and taking care of them. They'll do that and they will treat their servers like garbage and not give them a tip. Because number one, worst crowd to serve for in a restaurant, I'll give you a hint. It ain't the bartenders and it ain't the servers. It's the godly people. It ain't the hoodlums who are out there living the devil's life. It's the Christian folks that come in after church on Sundays, who, after being filled by the word and the love of God, that will come out and treat their servers like garbage and drive right past the guy with the sign out saying, veteran, homeless, need help. Oh, I ain't gonna give him no dollars. He's probably just gonna go spend it on alcohol. It doesn't matter what that person does with it. What matters is the person that you are. It doesn't even matter that you give that man $1 or not. What matters is how you feel when you see that person. If you feel that, ooh, look at that guy that did something different in his life than I did with mine, that put him in that situation, then are you really a Christian? Have you really decided to do the things that Jesus would have us do? It's a stupid bracelet we all used to wear, and I wish that bracelet never existed, because WWJD is the sort of thing now to where they're like, oh yeah, the bracelet. They think about the bracelet now. They don't think about what Jesus would actually do. I'm sorry, I had to do that. I'm sorry. But the Bible says, when you pray, go into your closet and pray. Go into your closet and hide, because those words, and some people, so in the book of Acts, the Bible says that I would rather hear somebody speak 10 words in a native tongue than 10,000 in a tongue that no one understands. Most people take that to meaning that speaking in tongues is something that shouldn't be done in church. Like a lot of people say that that's what that means. But I don't think that. I think that means empty words. The same as that the lady who gave the last 2 cents that she had, or the man who gave $10, who had 100, who gave more. The woman who gave all she had. Less is more in every aspect. I just cannot stand the fact that these people just want to go out in the world and be seen as this thing that they are not, and they don't want to actually do what it takes to be that person by reading the Bible and studying the Word of God. And listen, I'll say this stuff because a lot of people are like, oh, well, the Bible says this, and this. Yes, it does. But it also undoes all of that stuff. Everybody wants to say, like, oh, well, the Bible was written by men. The Bible's not real. You know what? The Bible answers that question too. The Bible is written in parables. It is written in stories. It is written in it's written in stories where Jesus says, if the right hand causes you to sin, cut it off. He's not literally talking about cutting off your right hand. He's talking about ridding yourself of something that might be causing you negativity in your life. But I'm sorry, I don't want to go too far into the Bible stuff anymore, because I just get too worked up about it. I get too heated. I get too aggravated with. I grew up in church, and I gave my life to God on March 23rd, 2000. The year 2000. March 23rd in the year 2000. I prayed the sinner's prayer in Shiloh United Methodist Church in Bennettsville, South Carolina. And I have believed that all of that was real until this very day. And I get so aggravated when people want to say, oh, you got a dirty mouth and you smoke weed and you do this and you do that, and how are you a Christian? And I say it's because Jesus didn't die for the sins that I committed on up until the point where I realized who he was. He died for all man's sins. And once people understand that, they feel like that once they get saved, okay, my slate is wiped clean again. It's not like a credit card that's paid off that you can just pile up charges on again. It's all wiped clean. And every negative thing that you do in your life is just another stripe across his back. And I cannot bear to think of that. I cannot bear to think of that. But it's just too many people don't take that into account. Too many people feel like, well, I went to church this Sunday, my slate's wiped clean again, my credit card has been paid off completely. So now I can just pile up more charges and I'll just ask forgiveness for that when I go back to church on Sunday. That's not how it works. You have to repent. The meaning of repent does not mean to ask forgiveness. Repent, it means to turn away from. That means that you have to turn away from the things that make you a bad person. And I know I've used the words like Bible and God and sin, but you could substitute all these words for laws of humanity or the universe or wrongdoing, any of that stuff. And I usually say that. I usually say the universe will get you, the universe or the laws of humanity, all of these things. I usually speak in that language just so that I'm not, taken out of context. People will hear you talk about the Bible and Christianity and things like that, and they immediately stop listening because usually the rhetoric that surrounds that sort of conversation is all the same. And it's, oh, God's been good to me. You ought to come to church with us. We got a really good preacher. We got a really good band. Or it's like, oh, it's cool, dude. We got a pretty cool youth program. Everything's pretty chill. We kind of go get coffee afterwards. And they're all the same. They're all the same. And now granted, there are a few who I know personally who have made changes in their lives and are living better lives right now because of these changes that they've made. And I'm so proud of these people. But God, there's just so much that people miss. I really think that if people would take the time to read the Bible, to actually read it and read the stories, even the boring parts, it doesn't take long to get through if you set your mind to reading it. Even the boring parts, like you get through your Leviticus, your Numbers, and Deuteronomy, and Judges and First and Second Kings and all that stuff, where all the battles and it's like Lord of the Rings, the Two Towers. And I read the Bible. When I read it from a place okay, I want to see what this thing's about. Everybody always talks about the biggest qualm that I had with my friends was whether this book is real, whether the words in it are real, and whether they're not. And sure enough, when I read it, it teaches you how to read it. It teaches you how to understand the book as it goes, as you go. I don't know anything about Celtic orthodoxy. Celtic orthodoxy. I couldn't tell you, JL. Oh yeah, and Ghost, amen. The Bible is logic and metaphor. Problem is what? You're right. That's the funny part about it. And the Bible sort of teaches you how to tell what is what. It sort of like sets you up. And I read it from Genesis to Revelation. I read it in order. I didn't read it like one of those Bible plans that'll let you read this part and then this part and then this part and then this part. I read it all in order. And I've got the Bible that I read It's in my room, hanging on my bed frame right now. It's looped over one of my bedposts, the Bible case that I've got. And it's full of sand because I read it on the beach, and it's in pieces. It's, you know what? Matter of fact, I'll hold that thought, Benson. I'm gonna go get it. I'm gonna show it to you. I'm gonna show you what a Bible that's been read looks like. BRB. Let's give you guys a little. What do we got here? BRB. I'm gonna play the intro song real fast. Give me a second.
From the Scandal Rescue Studios.
And there's nothing wrong with the basic King James Bible, but yeah, there's nothing wrong with the basic King James Bible, but the Bible that I read was the New Living Bible, I think. The Bible's called The Answer. The New Century Version. Show you what a Bible that's been read looks like. A Bible case. All right, we just lose something. Look at this book. King James was a jerk. You can just see that it's in pieces. It's falling apart. Can you tell? I don't know if the lights. Got Daniel and Acts. I've got stuff from when I was in Psalms here. I've got stars and stuff from where I was just making notes of going through it. There's dust coming out of it now. I have a new Bible that's just like this, by the way. Here's a picture of my dad in this Bible. I'm putting that here for Psalm 91. Psalm 91 is a good one to read every day. But just this is what a Bible that's been read looks like. Not a lot of people have these. It seems like it's falling apart. I've got hair in this Bible. And every single page in this book has been read. And in this thing, sometimes I would do 2 or 3 pages at a time, or 2 or 3 chapters at a time. But there's spots where I would put a dot wherever I stopped reading, so I could start back from there. But yeah, you can tell where they rewrote and tried to manipulate. But the thing is, people want to talk about the King James Bible. And Benson, I did a lot of studying. I did a lot of studying from which Bible is the most accurate, and the closest English translation to the original texts is the English Standard Version. And that's the Bible that I use on my phone. My phone's over there charging still. I should probably unplug it. But the English Standard Version is very close too. For instance, I'll tell you the difference, because I know the King James Version of Psalm 23. I'll tell you the difference. Yes, the English Standard Version of the Bible is... Honestly, you know what, Drongo? Check out on... go to Amazon, The Answer. try to find the answer. The New Century version, this is a really easy version of the book to read. And also, like, it has certain little write-ups from certain, like, Christian authors and certain people who will, like, do, like, sort of devotion things in here. The Answer is a really, really good version of the Bible. I like it. I have 2 copies of this. Like, I could grab the other one. I've got 2 Bibles, this one and the other Bible that's just like it, but it's a hard copy that I take to, like, when I was doing, like, Bible study and things like that. I used to I used to be a part of this Bible study that I was a key part to it. Oh man, see, this is one single page that came out in 1 Kings where I stopped reading at verse 16. I made it to verse 31. I was renting chairs and umbrellas for beach services at this time. So I would be reading the Bible all day and people, like, renting people chairs and umbrellas and stuff on the beach. But yeah, and this is pretty inexpensive too. I got this from Walmart whenever it was a Where's that coming from? Yeah, I got this from Walmart way back in the day. What's funny is I didn't even know it was a Bible. I had money. I had just gotten in this big accident. And, or I just gotten, not in the big accident, I just gotten this big insurance settlement from this accident I was in when I was a kid, which I've told that story before. But, God, I love this book. I was walking through Walmart and I saw this thing. I saw it said The Answer, and I opened it up and I read the first page and it was like, "Are you lost?" Well, I'll tell you exactly what it said. It said, "Authentic faith for an uncertain world." And I opened it up, and from the junior high student to the Harvard grad, from the stay-at-home mom to the corporate executive, from the church leader to the death-stricken prisoner, we all have questions. When there's no one there to listen or answer, where do you turn? Who do you talk to? How can you overcome the stress and anxiety of trying to figure out things on your own? The creators of the answer have been asking questions of their own. What are people asking? What do people really need to know? What are the questions we're afraid to ask? Questions that seem simple enough to answer, yet have solutions that are hard to pin down. The culmination of their research of talking with people from all walks of life has come together in The Answer, with a combination of God's Word in the easy-to-understand New Century version and the most powerful inspirational writings from dozens of best-selling authors. The Answer addresses the issues and concerns facing people today. The contributors to this volume offer sound, reliable teaching that supports and enhances what the Bible says about dozens of topics that are relevant to your life. And when I read that, I was like, you know what? I'm going to get this. I'm going to get this book because I want to, I'm curious. And I read through this thing so fast, it didn't even dawn on me that this was a Bible. I thought it was just a book. I mean, I was reading a lot back then, so I just thought it was just a simple book. I was like, okay, so they're taking the New Century version of the Bible and they're doing like Bible stories. Okay, this is cool. Didn't even realize that it was a Bible. But when I read that on the inside cover of that book, I was like, okay, this is it. Like, all right, so I'll get it. And that very Bible that I bought in Walmart in Florence, South Carolina, I bought that book at Florence, South Carolina Walmart, and left there and went to Krispy Kreme Donuts and got a half a dozen of donuts, and I sat down at a table and opened that book and started reading it and realized it was the Bible. And immediately I was like, oh, I just bought a Bible. I've got dozens of Bibles. And I just just chucked it aside. And that book stayed, it moved with me. And then it moved with me again. And I moved over to another town. and moved down here to the beach and started like I don't know, I started doing like psychedelic drugs and stuff like that, which I'm not, you know, against doing psychedelic drugs, but I think that everybody should try it at least once, you know, to you know, expand your brain a little bit. But yeah, right, Krispy Kreme. But for real, went to Krispy Kreme Donuts, sat down, got me half a dozen donuts, and sat down with this book, realized it was a Bible, and was like, okay, I got a dozen of Bibles. So I was working at Starbucks, as we were talking about earlier, another full circle, and this girl had a crush on me, and her friends told me that she had a crush on me, so I got interested in that, and come to find out she went to church, and I really liked her a lot, and kind of fell in love with her, so I wanted to spend more time with her. I wanted to be with her, so I started going to church. And I quit smoking weed, man. I quit doing and I was doing a lot of drugs at this time. And quit smoking weed. I quit doing all the drugs that I was doing. I stopped it all, and started going to church. Started, you know, and anytime I was going to church for a few months, you know, being part of the Bible studies and stuff like that. And then the band leader heard that I played music, and I played guitar for some of my friends' one of my friends' weddings, and the band leaders asked if I would like to come and sit in with the band. So I sat in with the band once, and they dug it, so I ended up joining the band, and then I was part of the church band, and I had started hanging out with the youth leader at the church, the youth leader and the assistant youth leader, and we have become really good friends. And then we all started a band together, and that band was called you know what, let's I think we're on YouTube. We were called the Dalton Floyd Band, which was, we opened up a phone book and just put our finger in, and whatever we landed on, that was going to be the name of the band. So we did a couple times and it just didn't work. And then we landed on Dalton Floyd, and we're like, oh shit, this is a cool name. So we're like, oh, this is a cool name. So we were like, okay, so now we're the Dalton Floyd Band. And come to find out, that just so happened to be the name of a pretty prominent lawyer in the Myrtle Beach area. So we had chosen the name of literally one of the top people who could like sue us for his likeness if we wanted to, but it was pretty funny. But we picked a lawyer's name. But how do we every time I type in Dalton Floyd, it's coming up with Pink Floyd stuff. Okay, here we go. Okay, so if you guys want to see me, this is skinny me. Yes, I was. I grew up in church. My grandmother was the treasurer in church for all of my life, and when I got saved, me and my dad got saved around the same time. And when my dad got saved, he started, doing men's club meetings, and he started speaking and, giving his testimony about, oh, I hear you, Benson. Yeah, this is let's go ahead and get this rolling in so that you can. we go. Okay. Here we go. That's me sticking that with that white shirt on up there. This was the Christian band that I was in. This was a Shane and Shane cover.
Come and meet us, King Jesus. Oh, when the chains blow through this temple, sweet Spirit of God, come and mend our hearts. For all we have, so unless you come, awaken what's inside me. Soon my heart to all you are in me. Though you hear God come,
That's me, man.
and in the vision of you be the death of me. And even though you've given everything, Jesus come. Come and free us, King Jesus. It's the only way that freedom is given. From you and you alone, the work you've already done. For all we have are songs, unless you come. Awaken what's inside me. Tune my heart to all you are in me. Even though you hear God come, and in vision of you be the death of me. And even though you've given everything, Jesus come. Here we are, Lord, in this place,
Walt Anderson there on vocals.
crying out for your embrace.
Stephen Rinaldi on drums and Ty Warren on bass.
More than songs, oh, please come, Jesus. What's inside me, to my heart, to all you are in me. Even though you hear God come, in the vision of you be the death of me. And even though you've given everything, Jesus come. Awaken what's inside of me. Tune my heart to all you are in me. Even though you hear God come, in the vision of you be the death of me. And even though you've given everything, Jesus come. Awaken what's inside of me. Tune my heart to all
after all I've said and done here, I don't think I'll be able to. I don't think I'll be able to top that one, man. Oh, Dalton Floyd. Little Dalton Floyd band there for you. Little Floyd Mayweather band there for you. Should have called it that. All right, guys. Well, thank y'all for letting me rant here with you. I appreciate you guys for hanging out. Thanks for hanging out all the way from Australia there, Benson. Thanks for JL. Appreciate you dropping the subscribe on it. You know, JL, I'm happy for you there, because we all go through that in our lives. You know, we all go through that time when you don't know what is out there. We all become atheist and agnostic there for a while, but I think that knowing that there is something bigger than you keeps you honest in a way that only knowing something there's bigger than you can. So I'll leave you guys with that. I love the shit out of y'all. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me. Please go to the mistuffpodcast.com. Anybody who listens to this in the future or later, it's not necessary at all. Do not think that this is necessary, but if you guys want to drop anything in the tip jar, it's on the website, and by all means, you guys in the chat, do not feel pressure to do that at all. You guys hanging out with me and communicating with me is enough tip from you folks. This is for folks who listen in the future. If you guys want to help keep the ball rolling, that's the way you can do it. I love you guys dearly. Thank y'all for hanging out, and I'll see you on the flip side. Hit that subscribe button. Share it to some people. Let's try to get to 1,000 subscribers. So, yeah. Be good people. In a world full of shitty people, don't be one of those people. Be a good person. Peace, bitches.